Excelsior! So today we're going to read Action Comics number 242, which was published in July of 1958. So this is the first appearance of Brainiac. Action Comics, featuring the Super Duel in Space. I dare you to capture me, Superman. The moment you touch my ultra-force shield, even your invulnerable body will be destroyed. It's the greatest challenge of my life. This super outlaw may be bluffing, but I can't take that chance. Here goes. Are you a litter bug? So it's like this little boy, and he's like throwing stuff all over the place, or he doesn't catch. He's playing baseball, and he doesn't catch the ball. Then he said, "What a ball field! I wonder who messed it up." And yeah, so he was just littering in that. So published as a public service in cooperation with the National Social Welfare Assembly, a coordinating organization for national health, welfare, and recreation agencies of the U.S. And the artist is, I think, Henry Baltanoff. Superman! When a supervillain from outer space menaces the Earth with his amazing scientific powers, Earth's mightiest champion, Superman, speeds to give battle. But this time, the Man of Steel encounters fantastic superpowers, even greater than his own, and a breathless world waits in suspense to learn what will be the outcome when the Man of Steel and Alien of Steel begin the super duel in space. Won't anything defeat that super alien? I'll hurl this giant meteor. Ugh. You're only wearing yourself out, puny man. Even if you threw the Earth itself, it would only bounce off my ultra-force shield. Ha 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 ha! Scientists watch breathlessly one day as the Army launches a new rocket. 3, 2, 1, fire! There goes the Columbus, the first experimental spaceship with humans aboard. Among the crew, by special appointment, are Clark Kent and Lois Lane, reporters of the Daily Planet. We hardly feel any discomfort from the high speed in these anti-shock seats. Isn't it thrilling, Clark? We're making history, Lois. Look behind. Only cameras have seen that sight before. At the height of 200 miles, awesome space scenes unfold. We're above Earth's atmosphere in black space, where the stars shine in the daytime. Later, another momentous milestone is passed. 10,000 miles from Earth! We've broken all rocket records! Hooray! But look, those test animals brought along by the scientists. Why are they whirling madly? A more amazing mystery arises. Great guns! A flying saucer from outer space is following us, shooting strange rays. Who can it be? As Clark Kent, who is secretly Superman, probes into the unknown craft with his X-ray vision, did the Earthlings dare to send a ship to stop me, Brainiac, master of super scientific forces? We'll show them, Coco. The next ray I shoot out, will do far worse than make animals dance madly. An enemy from some alien planet. As a ray from the strange craft jolts the Columbus.
Oh, if only Superman were here.
I am, but I'd be revealing my secret identity if I suddenly appeared in the ship. I'll use this and get out. After Clark dons the device and exits through the emergency escape hatch.
Poor Clark. He's so afraid. He's jumping back to Earth.
I'll pretend to zoom back to Earth, propelled by the built-in supersonic jets. Once out of sight, timid Clark changes to powerful Superman. They'll assume Clark reached Earth and sent Superman to the rescue. I'll speed back and capture that sinister alien. But, incredibly, when Superman tries to smash into the flying saucer, ooh! I only rebounded from an invisible wall. Earthling fool! Nothing in the universe can penetrate the ultra-force barrier that surrounds my ship. Unable to invade the impenetrable craft, the Man of Steel changes tactics. I'll shove the Earth rocket ahead at super speed so that it will be out of harm's way. Got to go faster! Faster! Superman wins the deadly race. Whew. We're out of range of his destructive rays. Don't worry about them, Coco. We have other business to do on Earth now. What is Brainiac's evil plan? Air hoses, all connected. The bottles are ready. One is already filled. Now we'll fill the others. Eh, Coco? We are hovering over Earth, now to use the hyper bomb site. I have the first Earth city, Paris, in the crosshairs. I press the button, and below, citizens of Paris observe a baffling phenomenon.
Sacre bleu! What is that cone of peculiar rays flanking the whole city?
An instant later, as an American plane nears Paris, fasten your seatbelts. We're landing in Paris. Wait! The whole city just vanished! Where did it go? The incredible answer lies within Brainiac's flying saucer. See, Coco? The hyper forces I released reduced the entire city to miniature size and transported it inside this bottle. Meanwhile, I have to push the rocket back to Earth slowly. Continued super speed would crush the crew within. Wait, my telescopic vision shows something is wrong on Earth. Paris is missing. As Superman inspects Brainiac's ship, yes, Coco, I will take 12 cities in the bottle back to repopulate my home world, where a plague wiped out my people. Then I will restore all the cities to their original size and have a new empire to rule, as before. He's going to steal Earth's greatest cities. Yet, I can't stop him as long as his ship is protected by that ultra-force barrier. I'll just have to stand by and watch helplessly. And presently, as Brainiac continues his raid of Earth by stealing the city of Rome. One after another, the world's greatest cities become toy villages in bottles. An oxygen supply keeps the tiny people alive. Aren't they cute, Coco? But let me examine that bridge in this city they call New York.
Help! Giant tweezers ripped the George Washington Bridge loose!
All the while, Superman observes helplessly via telescopic vision and super hearing. Such primitive structures. He's examining the miniature cities, as though they were ant nests. Yet, I can't get into his ship and stop him. But hope rises in Superman as their space paths cross again. Time to recharge my hyper batteries with cosmic ray power. Meanwhile, we'll land on that planetoid and stretch our muscles, Coco. Maybe I can defeat him outside of his ship. I'll let the Earth rocket float in space nearby. Shortly, so the flying fool is going to try to defeat me again, eh? Well, I'm waiting. The heat of my X-ray eyes ought to make you yell, Uncle. But astoundingly, bah! My power belt throws an ultra shell around me. It is reflecting your X-rays straight back at you. Great Scott! I'll have to turn them off, or the superheat will harm me. Desperately, Superman uses the nearest weapon at hand. I broke off one of these stalagmites and hurled it like a super lance. It only shatters. Ha! They may call you Superman, but I'll call you Puny Man. Superman answers the insult by ripping a gigantic chunk out of the planetoid itself, and... Do you think that pebble could hurt me? Ha! Enraged for the first time in his career, the Man of Steel continues the bombardment until... I'll hurl a bigger chunk, and bigger, and bigger, but I tore up the whole planetoid without defeating Brainiac. Has the Man of Steel for once met more than his match in the invulnerable alien? Well, want to continue this duel, puny man? No. I've had enough. I quit. I'm licked. And, to the dismay of Lois Lane, who has been watching from the Earth rocket,
Good grief! Superman is fleeing away into outer space. I never thought I'd see the day when he would quit a fight.
Later, when the Columbus reaches Earth under its own power,
I'll rush to the office and get out the story of Superman's duel with that evil alien.
But if Superman is gone, how can Clark Kent greet Lois at the Daily Planet? You're back from space, Lois. What happened after I sent Superman to save the rocket ship?
You won't believe it, Clark, but Superman was defeated by the alien. And, goodness, what's that ray striking the city?
In the wink of an eye, Metropolis meets the same fate as its sister cities. Another miniature city, Coco. Back on my desolate world, hyper forces will restore it to normal size to join my new empire. Ha! As Brainiac thrusts his tweezers down into the model-sized Metropolis,
The alien reduced us to Tom Thumb size. And for once, Superman isn't here to protect us.
That's what you think, Lois. Soon, as Clark changes in secret, I only pretended to flee after the battle, to fool Brainiac. I secretly circled back through space to Metropolis, which was sure to become a city in a bottle, too. This was my only way to get inside the alien ship, past his ultra-force barrier. At that moment, "Come, Coco, we'd better check the bottle which imprisons our prize city. This super hard metal stopper will seal up Metropolis so none of its tiny inhabitants can escape." He corked it before I was able to fly out. But though tiny as a mote, Superman still has superpowers, and a super shove and I'm out. I'll replace the cork so Brainiac doesn't notice and suspect I'm inside his ship. This is his hyper-force machine. How can I make it return the cities to Earth? I'll have to study it carefully. But Brainiac becomes aware of miniature Superman in an ironic way. "I haven't looked at my prize city for a while. Wait! Bzzz. That buzzing fly annoys me. Swat him, Coco!" Luckily, Brainiac didn't look closely at this fly, but his pet will keep after me with that giant fly swatter, unless I find a place to hide. I'll hide in this bottle that Brainiac just uncorked. It was mysteriously covered before. I wonder what city could be inside. A super surprise awaits Superman. Great stars! That's the city of Krypton, my homeworld. Brainiac must have imprisoned it inside his bottle years before Krypton met doom. Superman reaches the city in an un-Superman-like way. Ooh! I fell down, unable to fly. Krypton's gravity conditions are duplicated here. Thus, I have no superpowers, as I do on Earth. In the city, Superman seeks out a scientist. I live on Earth now, sir, but I was born on the planet Krypton. My father was Jor-El, the scientist.
Jor-El? Why, he was my roommate in college. I'm Professor Kimda, and this is Kandor, the city that was Krypton's capital. But how did you get to Earth?
Superman relates how the tragic explosion of his home planet led to his career as Earth's superhero. Knowing Krypton would explode, my father Jor-El sent me safely away in an experimental space rocket. After my rocket reached Earth, Jonathan and Martha Kent adopted me, startled to learn I had superpowers. They raised me as Superboy, and I did many super feats in Smallville. When the story is over, your city was stolen by Brainiac before Krypton blew up. You've spent half a lifetime in a bottle.
But not wasted years. I used my telescope often, and learned how Brainiac operates his hyperforces. I made a chart of the buttons that can restore the miniature cities to Earth.
But I can't use it. How can I escape this bottle without any superpowers? I'm trapped here with you.
With time on his hands, Superman tours the city, accompanied by Kimda.
We have kept up our scientific progress, despite our captivity in a bottle. We build rockets on an assembly line that ride us swiftly around the city.
Then, at the Kandor City Zoo,
that's our rarest specimen, the mole that eats metal. We must keep it in a glass cage. It would eat its way out of any steel cage.
Superman sees many more wonders of a world he thought completely annihilated long ago.
Tireless robot farmhands raise our crops for food. Sealed in a dark, cold bottle, we created our own artificial sun, a flaming fireball crossing over the city regularly on its tracks.
Meanwhile, having filled all his bottles with earthly cities, Brainiac finally turns his ship toward outer space, and
"It is a long, long trip back to my world, Coco. We must go into suspended animation. To avoid aging, we will awaken after a lifetime has passed me by."
Kimda gives Superman the alarming news.
My telescope shows Brainiac has put himself in a state of suspended animation. The controls will revive him in a century. Great Scott! All the people in the bottled cities will age and die during the 100-year trip. Their descendants will arrive on Brainiac's world.
Suddenly, Superman thinks of a super strategy. This chart and 2 other things in your city may save us. I want your most powerful rocket and a certain animal from the zoo. Can you guess what animal Superman takes along in the rocket later? I lost my flying ability, but this rocket will get me up to the metal cork of this giant bottle. Superman purposely rams the rocket's nose into the underside of the cork, and then, now to let the metal-eating mole feast his way up through the cork, he'll borrow a tunnel big enough for me to climb through. The ingenious plan works. Now that I'm outside the bottle, I'm free of the Krypton gravity within the bottle. My superpowers returned. I can fly to the control panel and use Kimda's operational chart. With no interference from the sleeping alien, the Man of Steel punches the correct buttons in a special way. My finger's too small, but this is using my head. Each button I press makes a city reappear back on Earth, in normal size, unharmed.
Look! Metropolis suddenly returned, as mysteriously as it vanished yesterday.
But transmitting the Earth cities back drains the batteries of their cosmic power, and Superman meets a tragic dilemma. Only one charge of hyperforce is left, enough to restore the Krypton city to normal size, or me, but not both. Unselfishly, Superman is ready to sacrifice himself. Well, I'm only one man. The hyper ray can save 1 million people in the Krypton City, allowing them to live on Earth. I'll press the button that will liberate them. But before he reaches the button, the ray struck me. I'm regaining normal size swiftly. That tiny rocket punched the button ahead of me. Superman catches the rocket in his palm, and...
It's I, Kimda. I flew the rocket out of the hole in the cork to punch the button, knowing only one charge would be left. We could not let Earth be deprived of its great superhero.
You sacrificed your people for me. I'm grateful, but your city must forever remain tiny now. Presently, let Brainiac's ship fly on. When he awakens, he will have no stolen cities. Let him live on his desolate world, alone, a cruel king without a kingdom. Finally, at the North Pole in Superman's Fortress of Solitude, the miniature Krypton City will keep safely here. Perhaps I'll find a way to restore it to normal size and live with my people again. Someday. Who knows? The end. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you could like, comment, and subscribe, that'd be appreciated. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys later.